Hi there, this is Carrie from Stamp with CT. Good morning and happy Wednesday. Of course, if you're catching this part of the video, you're probably watching the replay, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube. Welcome, so glad you're here. And if you are able to catch the video live, glad to see you here this morning as well. Be sure to say hello. I'm so glad you're with me this morning. Thank you. Well, it's a busy day here in my craft room once again. Have so much going on today, but you know that I love to take a little bit of time to come and stamp with you, to connect with you, to show you some fun projects. So welcome, so glad you're here. We're going to get started with our project. We are working with pretty paper again today because we have a designer series paper sale going on, and we love pretty paper anyway. So that's why I decided to once again focus on designer series paper with our projects, just so we can give you some more ideas about how to use our beautiful paper. We don't want to hoard our paper, we want to use it and make beautiful projects so that we can bless other people by sending those out and making their day. So we will go ahead and get started. Now today I do have a couple projects that we're making. They're very straightforward, very easy to duplicate, and I have some additional samples, so be sure to watch to the end of the video and I will show you those additional samples with some other papers. Now we have 9 papers that are on sale, 15% off. Makes it a great deal, and we're going to be using one of them today, which is the hand-pinned designer series paper. It's just so pretty. I'll go ahead and show you some of the designs. What I love about this paper is you've got the floral on one side, and then you've got a beautiful bee side that works perfectly with the technique or the layout that we're going to be using today. And that'll make a little bit more sense once we get into our project. So such beautiful colors. Wanted to remind you that on the back of your designer series paper packaging, Stampin' Up! Lists the colors that are used in the papers. So for example, on hand pinned, we have a bunch of colors. We've got basic black, blushing bride, cinnamon cider, daffodil delight, garden green, highland heather, mint macaron, misty moonlight, pale papaya, and pool party. So all of those gorgeous colors are in this paper. So what makes it nice is we are able to pull from those colors to make our card bases and our layers. That lets us know what color will coordinate when we get ready to stamp. It just makes everything so easy because of the way that Stampin' Up! Coordinates all of our products. That's one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up! Then I went ahead and pulled in the Pansy Patch stamp set today for a couple of the sentiments. We're not using any of the floral images, but we are using a couple of the sentiments. Just love the font on this stamp set, so I thought that would be lots of fun. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in the components to the card and just talk to you about those for a minute. Each of the cards that I'm going to make today, we're going to make 2. As I said, they're quick and easy. And then I've got additional samples to share with you. They all use the same basic formula or layout. So let's talk about our measurements. And I will post those for you in the description of the video, but let's go ahead and talk about them too. So we're starting with a card base, just basic white cardstock. I think this is actually the thick basic white, but you can do this with any cardstock that you have, any color. So it is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So when we fold that and burnish it on the score line, we end up with a card base that is 5.5 by 4.25. And then our next layer is a piece of designer series paper. We want it just slightly smaller than our card base, so there's a little border, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So we're going to cut this larger piece of designer series paper 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And I know you may be thinking, oh, Carrie, I'm not crazy about fractions, but I really like the way it gives you just a small mat of the card base beneath that designer series paper. It helps to pick up that white design in the paper. You could certainly change these measurements though and still make a very similar layout if you're not comfortable with those fractions, but I'll help you. Now we also have a piece of cardstock, and this time I did pull out Highland Heather because we know that that's part of this designer series paper. And this cardstock layer is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. So it's going to layer on top of that designer series paper. Then we have one more piece of designer series paper. It is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, and it's going to just layer on top of that cardstock. So let's go ahead and start putting things together. I have another card that we're going to be making in just a moment, and I did have a black mat for it. So I just wanted to pull this in right quick to show you how we can kind of mix and match. So I'm using the Highland Heather for this card, but the basic black would work just as well. It really helps to pull out from your design. That really brings out the outline of those flowers. But when you put the Highland Heather back behind it, it really pulls out the flowers. So that's what we're going to do with this card. Let's go ahead and start adhering this down. So you can see that you have lots of options with this designer series paper. It works really well with this type of layout because you've got those pretty either just soft images on the B side, or you've got just a plain paper with a color on that B side. See if I can get this somewhat lined up with a little border all the way around. Let that dry for a second, and we'll go ahead, and you can see that's actually the B side of this paper. So it makes it so easy to match those up in this paper. Oh, it's just so pretty. I love pretty paper. And we joke about we use our best pretty paper for our best friends, but we can always get more paper. So we need to be making cards and sending those out to people, making their day. Let's add a few dimensionals to the back here. That's going to give it just a little bit more interest, a little bit of lift. So we'll pull those backings off right quick. You'll have to let me know if you have tried this card layout before. I think that I may have even shared it with you because it's something that I like to do from time to time. See if I can get that pretty much lined up there. So that just adds a little bit more depth, and I think it adds a little bit more interest there too. So I went ahead and stamped my happy birthday greeting. Now I'm trying on these cards to keep my greetings, my sentiments, fairly small and simple because we want that paper to really, really shine. So let me grab a couple of dimensionals to put on the back of our sentiment as well. And then I have some gorgeous grape ribbon. Now this is from our annual catalog, and it is just so pretty, and it goes very well with the Highland Heather. So even though Gorgeous Grape is not in this designer series paper, I love the way that it coordinates as well. Just a little bit darker shade of purple. So I'm going to snip that ribbon kind of at an angle there. And trying to decide, I may want to snip that a little bit smaller. I think I do. Then we'll just have a little bit peeking out on either side of the sentiment. Well, if I can cut straight, I might go this way on that side as well. Now I've got little bits of ribbon everywhere. I think I may just put that down toward the bottom. We'll go ahead and take these dimensional backs off. Yes, I think that's going to work really well. So let me grab my Stampin' Seal Plus here. And I'll put just a small bit to help hold our ribbon down across that bottom section. And then I'll be able to bring in my sentiment. And just kind of center it up. Now I do have some of the pastel pearls. I don't think I got my take your pick tool, so this I may have to go back to the old days when I used to use my snips to pick up my pearls and embellishments. So I think it would be just really pretty. There's a couple different colors of purple on these pearls, and I think I'll just pick up a couple of these pearls and place them. I kind of stamped that sentiment up a little bit. Oops, I lost my pearl. I stamped that sentiment up a little bit, so I want to bring some pearls underneath. Yeah, that take your pick tool sure does make it easier. I wish I'd grabbed it. And just maybe come underneath with a couple of pearls to help fill in that gap where I didn't really get my stamping where I wanted it. And we may put one more. So you can see how quick and easy this card was. Well, those are a little bit wonky, aren't they? I still don't have a good bit of adhesive under that one. When you use your take your pick tool, it gets up underneath the adhesive. So do as I say and not as I do, right? But I think we can make it work. Now I just need to try to get them lined up a little bit better. Still looks a little bit wonky. I think that's better. So that just kind of fills in that gap a little bit from where I did my stamping. And rather than waste that and throw it away, I just decided to add some pearls as a little bit of accent. So there is card number 1 with this layout. I hope you guys like this. So let's do this again with another piece of the designer series paper. It's actually, once again, the front and back of it. So we've got our card base ready to go. Again, just a piece of the thick Whisper White, or basic white now. I do miss Whisper White. I can tell just a tiny bit of a difference in those cardstocks. You know, we carried Whisper White for many, many years. And during this pandemic, the mill that made that for us just went out of business. So we have basic white now, which is also a fantastic option. All right, let me get that lined up so we have a little bit of a border all the way around. I still say basic white sometimes, or Whisper White. It's funny how you get in the habit of something, isn't it? So this time we're matting on the black. And as I showed you, that really helps pull in the outline of our floral image. So I think that looks really pretty. May need to scoot that down just a tiny, tiny bit. Get it all lined up. We'll let that dry for just a minute. We'll put some dimensionals on the back once again. And I love having easy layouts that we can pull kind of from our crafting ideas. And it really gives you a nice jumping off point if you ever kind of get stuck and you just can't really get those creative juices flowing. Something like this will help you get started, because you could always embellish these cards if you wanted to. You don't have to with this pretty paper, but you can if you want to. So that's really nice. Uh-oh, I may have lost my sentiment for this other one. It was little bitty. There it is. So that's the thank you sentiment. I thought that was really pretty too. Think about this too. If you're one that loves to make multiples of Christmas cards that are either the same or very similar, this would be a great layout to use. And I think this time we may even put a little swoosh of our ribbon. I'm going to come over here, I think, put a little bit of Stampin' Seal Plus. That's how I like to add my ribbon, when I'm just going to put a little swoosh back behind. Kind of tousle that ribbon. So we'll come in, just zigzag that back and forth. That may be a little bit much for that tiny sentiment. Nope, I think it's going to work just fine. And then we'll put a couple of dimensionals on the back of this sentiment. I'm trying to remember, I want to say that this sentiment comes from the Ornate Frames. You know, I have my little bin with sentiments and things that I need to use up, so I had a couple of die cuts when I got ready to kind of prep for this last night. Move that over just a little bit to help cover up my adhesive boo-boo there. Let's see if I can get that somewhat straight. So another quick and easy card. Now I could certainly come in and add some pearls if I wanted to. I don't think I'm going to though. I think I'm going to just leave it as it is. I love how these turned out, and I hope that you do as well. So much fun to create these cards. There's just so many possibilities, and I know that we love our pattern paper, and being able to show both sides really is fun. Okay, let me show you some additional samples. Starting first with the Beauty of the Earth. On this one, it's a little bit hard to see. I went ahead and stamped You're the Best with Early Espresso directly on the Designer Series paper. Now this has Mary Merlot. It has, it actually even has Night of Navy in this paper. There's also Early Espresso, so I just made that one really simple. I'll go ahead and show you the Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. I know we looked at this last week, but it never hurts to see pretty paper again. This one is so lovely. It has something for every season. I think it really lends itself to making masculine cards quick and easy. So there's another sample for you. This one is really fun. The In the Wild Designer Series paper, it is a favorite of several of you, I know. So I don't have the stamp set that coordinates with this, but I did find this little sentiment, You're the Best, and I thought it paired really well with the Early Espresso ribbon that I love so much, and just made a very quick and simple card with In the Wild Designer Series paper. Lots of fun. Let me show you that paper right quick. Again, beautiful colors. This is a really neat paper pack. It does have stamps and dies that coordinate with it. You know, I just can't get everything, but I do love this as well. So there's a sample for you with that paper. And again, all of these papers that I'm sharing today, they are on sale right now until I believe it's August the 2nd. They are on sale, 15% off. Now I have another one which is made with Bloom Where You're Planted. I know you'll remember the awesome brick paper from last week, and just paired it again with a very simple sentiment, just a little strip of the brick paper back behind the sentiment to set it off. So another very, very simple card, but I think it works really well. Now you could certainly embellish this if you wanted to. I chose to leave it plain. And just to remind you how cute this paper is, again, there's a stamp set and dies that coordinate with it. I don't own them, but I do have the paper, so I love that I'm still able to use my paper to create a fun project. And then one last sample to share with you. Let me see where I put it. This one uses the You're a Peach designer series paper, and I chose to orient this one the other way just to show you that you can do it either way. So this one just has a sweet, simple sentiment, really, really letting that designer series paper shine. Just used a little linen thread bow. So pretty and so easy. That paper is just so gorgeous. So again, here's a reminder of what the You're a Peach designer series paper looks like. This is a really neat set. Again, it has stamps and dies that coordinate, but if you don't have them and you want the paper, there's still so much you can do with stamps that you have in your collection, punches or dies, and then you can just use that paper and make beautiful cards. Okay, I will be posting pictures of our samples probably later in the week so you can get a little bit closer look at all of those projects. I hope you love them as much as I do. I want to go ahead and share with you a gorgeous Happy Mail card that I received from my friend Mary White. Isn't this cool? We had a 3D challenge for our team, and this was Mary's submission, and then she sent it to me. I was so excited to receive this in the mail. It's absolutely gorgeous. She loves that Hydrangea Hill paper that recently retired, and it just made such a beautiful card. So thank you so much, Mary. And then I thought I would share too, she put the little note on a separate punch or die cut, so she just slipped that inside the card. Isn't that a great idea? Now I do have a giveaway for today. Now what did I do with it? Uh-oh. I'm not sure where I put it, but I do have an embellishment that we're going to use as our giveaway for next week, and now I can't find it. Uh-oh. Well, let me go ahead and let you know who the winner was for last week. There's the embellishment. Last week I had a package of Stampin' Dimensionals, which we all just love. You can never have too many Stampin' Dimensionals. So Lisa Tweedle, congratulations, you are the winner. Now, how did Lisa win? How did she get entered for a chance to win? She just left some comments. You can leave a comment, you can like or react with a heart to the video, you can share the video. All of those things help me in the algorithms of social media. So as a thank you to my viewers, I love to give a little prize each week. So our giveaway winner is Lisa Tweedle. We'll get those in the mail to you, Lisa. Thank you so much. Okay, I have the Silver and Clear epoxy drops, and that's our giveaway for this week. So again, just leave me a comment, say hello, let me know what you think about the projects, and that will enter you for a chance to win these, and I will announce the winner next week, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Now I have got something really exciting going on starting on Saturday the 17th. I think probably about 9 o'clock. We're going to do a week of Facebook Lives, kind of a blitz of Facebook Lives, and we're going to be making Christmas in July projects. And I say we because I think that Dale, my husband, will be helping me with that. A couple of days I'll be at work, and I think Dale will be able to go live with you and make a project with you. So we're still working out a couple of the details, but be sure to watch for that. We'll be live right here on my Stamp with CT page, and we'll give you some sneak peeks into the upcoming mini catalog, the July to December mini catalog. I do have those in stock. If you need a copy, I would love to send you a copy if you don't have a demonstrator that you purchase with. I'd love to be your demonstrator. And then also the celebration brochure. We have a second celebration this year. So exciting. So the way that celebration works is with every $50 purchase, you are able to select a free gift. And they're awesome. We're talking designer series paper, stamp sets. Those are free gifts inside these. I can't open these brochures and catalogs right now and show you the inside, but I can show you some of the product that I have. So that's what we're going to do with our Facebook Live Blitz starting on Saturday. So be sure to check back. Please let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate you all so very much. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again very soon.